Still get your preparation slightly wrong.
Josh Fraser starting in the middle and Zach Smith up forward.
Well, that's good to go on tall. Hooker's got Smith.
Fraser up in the ruck, and there's been an infringement already. Belchambers won the palm. So free kick to Joe Watson. There's a nice start. Have a kick, Joe. Sends it along to Paddy. Almost. He's got first gamer on him, so that'll make it tough. Tape tackle, and tackle big time, and there is big tackle from Stephen May, the first gamer for the Gold Coast Suns, and he gives away a free outside of the boot centering kick. We don't see that often. Harbrow knocks it down. Jetta rolls it. This is...
It was well roved from Jetta. Just a half chance there. Terrific front and square.
They've had a couple of chances already, the big Essendon forwards, to take a catch. It just looks ominous already.
It does, and we're 30 seconds in. Dixon leaps. Hurley from 4 deep ball hits the back. Russell, the hero with the winning goal last week, gets a chance to start this week. Misses the target. Hooker, little 1-2 with Watson. Short to the midfield. Gary Ablett Jr. can't spoil. Strong hands from Hocking. Monfries gives it up. Hooker thumps it long, and again, you said they were ominous. Big pluck over the top from Hardingham. In fact, it's Cramery.
Yeah, it's Cramery against Hunt.
Yeah.
A beautiful long kick to him. It was well called. Cramery and Hardingham, they're hard matchups. They're not super tall, but they play small as well. It was not a bad spalling effort from Carmichael Hunt there, and unfortunately just didn't get a piece of the ball.
Yeah, it was. Strong mids.
Coming off that 4-goal game last week. Made the goal umpire dance a little. Perfect start.
Well, it is a perfect start. 10 disposals to 1. Essendon's favour. Cramery and Hardingham, we just see this transference of play through the middle of the ground. Heath Hocking, looks like he's got Gary Ablett for the day, so he's going to have his hands full. And I think that's going to be the go for Essendon today. Just get the ball in long and strong and hope that their tools do the job.
Well, the number one kicking side, the long kicking side in the competition, so it just makes perfect sense to just kick it long to the advantage sides of the big tools, and they should have a good day.
Disappointing there for Blue McKenna was the kick of Russell's. They were out the back of the zone, and he just missed the hit-up target by about 3 metres.
Already a tough day at the office for Carmichael Hunt, and he's had some very tough days at the office so far in this career. Howlett dragged down, not able to break free. Ball comes out to Shaw. Flick pass was okay to Tape, to Harris, to Bennell. Back to Tape, slides into the tackle from Stanton, turnover. Lovett Murray, Heppel. There's talk that he might be a late out, but he held his spot in the side. Jetta overruns it shortly. Harbrow. Handball just in time. And now Shaw thumps it long. Oh, the good grab in defence once again. The Bombers holding strong. Hardingham. Heppel. It takes off. Ryder.
Well, he needs a big game, Dwight. He was really disappointing last week against Anzac. He was playing his 100th game, so let's hope Paddy Ryder has a big one in his 100th.
Zaharakis just pops it up. Hills down there. Hands to it, off hands. Howlett left it behind and got one for too high. Now he played onto advantage. That should count. Yeah, it does.
Good effort there by the Essendon forwards again. Hill provided the contest. It was a good smother by the Gold Coast player. I can't see who it was. Was it Handringham, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, he did a good job there, but look, it's going to be a good day for the Crummers as well. You just get front and square. Good kick, took the play on, and a good goal by Jack Hutchins, it was, that did the spoil. So well done by the Gold Coast defender, but they're going to have a long, hard day up forward.
And as is the trend, straight off, after kicking the goal, Ben Howlett. As we've said a number of times, it's almost not worth kicking the goal these days. Better off with an assist.
No Nathan Bock already, and Campbell Brown. You can see an Achilles heel there for Gold Coast.
Yeah, Harbrow, their most experienced player in defence at the moment. Harris, one of their more experienced players, gets the toy. Trunch. Dispossessed. And too high. Josh Toy. Essendon boy from Essendon Grammar. Sends it wide. Bennell gets there first. And Hibbert also there. It's the first gamer for the Bombers. Lays a smother and a good one. Salary breaks free. Hocking. Lonigan, who was down to start as a stub, got a late reprieve with the late change. Hill, good pluck, not paid.
Not paid. There was a pretty good effort from Hutchins there. You talked about him, Roo. His sprawling effort there. Looked like he might have had enough of it, Hill, but just that body pressure from young Jack Hutchins there, that's a real positive sign for Gold Coast.
Yeah, he should be able to keep up speed-wise, just got to get the height.
Monfries. Rima's got it out to him.
Good tackle.
And good tackle. Lonigan. Just floats it up forward. Almost Cramery. In fact, he may have got a free for a push. Play on advantage. Shot at goal from Rimas. Can you believe it? Spectacular.
Great goal by Remus there. I mean, you'd question whether he actually should have taken the kick to start with, but when you're a hungry little forward and you get an opportunity to kick a goal, I guess you take it, although James Hird probably would have preferred that it went back and Crameri had the shot on goal. But a clever kick. They do it all the time at training, these kicks. They look great, and they're probably not as hard to do as what they look.
Contested possession's a real worry for Gold Coast. We talked about the Bombers getting beaten the last 2 weeks. 13-6, Essendon's favour.
Hard to believe somebody would play on to advantage from the boundary line.
Well, that's what small forwards do, don't they? They see get a little sniff of a goal and take full use of it.
Splendid crowd in. A big roar went up there. Essendon fans have really turned out to see this one. And at the moment they're putting on a show. Remus plants his foot on it, sends it inside 50. Tackle laid but a little too high from Jetta. Harbrow, as I said, no Campbell Brown, no Bock, the most experienced man in their defence. Zach Smith.
Did all the hard work.
Yeah, he's better than that. He's had a good start to his career, Swallow. Slow start last week, but a sensational last quarter. Gives it to Shaw. Started on the bench and turns it over with a good mark. Robert Murray, short, Howlett. Little 1-2. Spears it to the midfield. And the collect okay from Remus. No tackle on McVeigh, too strong. Ryder inside 50.
Well,
Brennan.
Great courage, great athleticism.
He was good last week too, Brennan.
And he had to go too, because he had a look and he saw the pack. He thought, well, I've got to do it for my team, and he did that. Fantastic grab.
Riscatelli was great last week as well. He was best on ground in that win over Port Adelaide. Michael Riscatelli. Now Zach Smith from 4 deep. Got hands on it. Hurley will knock out. And a thump forward by Hardingham. Over some heads. Monfries gets back. Spoiled down May, the first gamer, to Hutchins, the second gamer. 1 game, 1 win for Hutchins. So far, so good for him. And Brennan. Good kick. Forced to play in defence. Kicked one of the goals of the year last week. It turns it over. Stanton could have played on. And you don't need your better players like Jared Brennan turning it over in that spot.
Yeah, you don't, but you also want your players to bring the ball back through the middle, and they're dangerous kicks, but not much room for error. Just a little bit too much flight on the kick, but if they don't take those chances, they're not going to score much today. So well done, Jared, for trying, but bad luck on the execution.
And Stanton drives it through.
Champagne football at the moment from the Bombers. It's all too easy at the moment. You see one of your senior players. I agree, Roo. Just the kick had to go to his advantage, though. If you're going to go in there, he actually kicked it on top of Carmichael Hunt's head, which allowed the Essendon defender to come in. If he had to kick it more to his left and give him something to run on so he could protect the ball drop, it would have been better. But Stanton read that beautifully. They've had 7 inside 50s, the Bombers, for 4 goals won.
Yeah.
Marcus Ashcroft, Guy McKenna, already some concerns.
They might be waiting to get 40 points down first, Dwayne.
That's right, like last week. And then kicked into gear. They're 25 down right now. We've played 9 minutes. And the ball up, Hill back into the middle. Scoots through a couple. Hocking read it well. Gave to Lonigan. They're relentless at the moment. McVeigh rolls it towards half forward. Stanton coming off that goal.
A lot of his tackles.
Spins out of trouble. Heads toward Remus. Already kicked the goal from that pocket.
Well, he has. He knows his pocket well.
Why didn't he play on to advantage then?
Well, I think he tried to in the end, but someone was man the mark, unfortunately. But what I've seen early, 4 missed tackles from the Gold Coast through the middle of the ground. Effective tackle is one of the key components of your setup, and the missed tackles just kill you.
Is that strength or mindset?
I think it's body strength.
Second game of the season for Kyle Remus. Had to earn his spot. James Hird made him earn it. Under the fish that John West rejects scenario. Got good players pushing up in your reserves, then keeps the pressure on the senior players to keep playing well. But he missed there, 26-0.
Of course, he hasn't got the yellow or orange boots on either, Dwayne.
No, I noticed that some of the Essendon players, because they're not allowed to show flair with their boots, they're showing some flair with their hair. But that's something the coach enjoys as well, of course. Hardingham. Zaharakis. Couple of options. He goes long. Remus back of the pack. Bellchambers down there. Hutchins dumps it away from Bellchambers. Harris dives in. Gang tackled. No prior opportunity. Was he making enough of an attempt? He was.
Well, Hutchins, Hunt, they're all going to get plenty of sprawling practice today in the back half of the Gold Coast.
And Hurley playing down back for the Bombers as well, which is a bit of a surprise today.
Hutchins knocks it down. Hawking dispossessed. Zach Smith gets through traffic. Toy ducked into that. Got one. Lucky. Josh Toy.
They need to spread a bit harder in this Gold Coast. You can just see they're all just congregating in the middle of the ground. There's got to be more even spread.
Ablett sat it on him, and big fist from Michael Hurley.
Pickers down to the boundary line. What's the body language like? I just saw then, you know, they had the ball, but there wasn't a lot of spread. It looked to be only Gary Ablett that really wanted the ball.
Here from Pickers shortly. Yep. Ryder play on. May, the first game, a little fumble. Diving through Stanton. Got one too high. Comes back to him. And he bangs it up long. Bellchambers has the reach and the skill.
Well, not a lot of Hutchins can do there. He's giving away.
Oh, what happened there?
The hands in the back. Was it?
Right, we'd like to see that again.
Yeah, so would I.
So Hutchins wins himself a free. Sends it long. Bennell thumped away from him. Watson feeds it back. Lovett Murray short. Hocking. This looks good again. He wobbles it inside 50 off some hands. May, seeing a bit of it, turns it over. Ryder.
Well, the kick was meant for Josh Fraser. That hurts when it goes direct to Parliament. How you could go back and kick this one?
I think the crowd want him to. You can hear the roar. And he's getting the instruction as well from Bellchambers.
Well, I think he needs something to ignite his season. He started okay, but his last couple of weeks have been poor by his standards.
So he's lining up. This will be goal number 50 for his career. Gives it a run. It's there. 5-0 start.
Yeah, the kicking of the Gold Coast at the moment is just not up to scratch. They're running at 57% efficient with their kicking. Essendon are 78. So was the free kick there, Danny?
I thought it was just a forearm. I didn't quite see hands in the back, but I think it was great leadership from the Essendon players, Roo, around Paddy Ryder. He was looking to pass it off.
Yeah. And
that's a sign he's not really confident yet, but he went back and just slotted it. Why pass it when you kick the ball like that?
Yeah, and you should be able to do it with a roof over.
Goal 50 for Paddy Ryder in game 100. Here's that. Well, it was called a push. Hands in the back. That wasn't hands in the back.
That's what it's all about, using your body.
Blessed are the meek.
Yeah, that's playing for mine, Dwayne.
Yeah, just a stronger man won out there and had it taken off him.
I'd have felt sorry for him.
Well, this is better.
Ablett did this last week to get them started from the same spot, essentially. Touched. A score.
It was great to see Riscatelli get a clearance too. As I said, he had 9 clearances last week, Riscatelli.
I think he's running with Watson.
Yep, good duel.
So Heppel to Hurley. He was met high. There was a delay, so he'll have to come back. He won't be allowed to play under advantage.
I think this is good coaching, putting Hurley back. He's played most of his football this year up in the forward line. What it does, it gives all the ruckman an opportunity to mark the ball in the forward line. Already we've seen Bellchambers, Hill and Ryder deep for Essendon.
Hill with Hutchins and It's going to happen all day by the looks of it. Hutchins hasn't got the reach.
Jeddah's on if he can get the ball moving.
No Bock, no Campbell-Brown. Jedah, well, he calls into this. They're both confused, Jedah and Zaharakis. Howlett again from the pocket, rolls it. Remus, and he goals it. Sparkling start for Bombers.
Yeah, pretty easy goal for Remus there. Probably should have centred the kick, although he didn't put himself in a position for the kick to go to the centre, but just plenty of inside 50s for Essendon at the moment. Not playing sensational footy, I wouldn't say, but still far too good for the Gold Coast at this stage, and could be a little bit ugly. Let's hope not. Let's hope the Gold Coast find their feet here in a minute and start putting a bit more pressure on the Essendon players, because they're not doing it a lot at the moment.
Well, they're getting smacked in their clearances and the contested possessions. They've been pretty good at that Gold Coast. They get nearly double, 26 contested possessions to 15 Gold Coast favour, and that'll be really disappointing. And of course, that equates to the inside 50s, 12-4 Essendon's way.
McVeigh puts it out. Lonergan. It's boys against men right now. Toy goes up. Zaharakis, they're still going. Handball superb. Remus for number 3. Well, it's good to have him back.
Well, he started beautifully. This will be an interesting one. We'll have a look at the goal, because it was fantastic play out of the middle of the ground, and that's what forwards want. The defenders don't like it when you get a clean clearance out of the middle of the ground, and it's been far too easy out of the middle. And it's been a contested ball. They mark the ball, the crumbing. But what does Guy McKenna do now? Does he now get a couple of half forwards and just say enough's enough? You know, we're getting smacked on the scoreboard.
I think he has to. At least one.
Do we just throw a couple back and then just get possession of the ball? No, a fantastic start for Kyle Remus, but there's no doubt the coaching box of the Gold Coast Suns, Rue, they'll be thinking, well, we're getting smacked on the scoreboard. Do we just stop the bleeding now? Do we stem the flow?
I think you have to. I think you have to play a loose in defence at the moment.
Well, we'll recall that ball up. We've played 17 minutes and it's a 43-point lead.
Or does he say, I need to find out a little bit more? Because sometimes when you do put that couple of extra back,
it covers it.
Well, you don't see the one-on-one efforts and where they need to really improve. And this year's always about improvement for the Gold Coast.
McVeigh slides it to Howlett. Short, Hocking. And he takes off. He could go all the way from 50. Drives it long.
A loose man's not going to do anything in that play anyway.
It's going to be interesting to see what they actually had the Bombers go about this as well, boys, because Gold Coast need to obviously stem the bleeding, but also the Bombers don't want to get into a situation where it's a little bit easy just as it is at the moment. They start getting forward of the play. You can get into a really poor mindset and things are happening a bit easy for you.
Crowd thought Harbrow was over the line with that kick in, Fraser. He holds it up, and they need more Josh Frasers, probably, the Gold Coast. More seasoned bodies, even if they're not champion players. Bodies that can get them hard-fought balls in the midfield. First game of Hibbert. Watson. There they go again. Stanton.
That's about end all.
Well, Toy could have cut that off. He left it in the end. Howlett, Lonergan. They're queuing up here. They've taken a bow and arrow to a gunfight, the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it's time they've got to stem the flow. I know they can learn from going one-on-one, Spud, but it's also a fine line between learning and getting embarrassed and getting mentally scarred as well, because this is a bit ugly at the moment. It's 50 points, only 18 minutes in. I think they've got to play someone like Charlie Dixon or Jared Brennan, someone who can take a grab and move around and at least try and stem the flow.
It's amazing. They've had 72 disposals, 8 goals. The league average champion data per goal, per disposals, is normally around 22 disposals per goal. At the moment, Essendon, 72 disposals, 8 goals, 3. They're going at 9 disposals per 6-pointer, which is unbelievable.
Well, last week's party's over for the Gold Coast. Back to earth with a thud here. Hocking. Lovett Murray. See, I don't know how he can run off half-back free. Stanton. It's a wobbler to space. Heppel read it well.
I think Brennan's pushed forward, Dwayne.
Okay, so that was the loose man. They left him back there. So Brennan pushing forward. Hardingham chips it wide. This is Hibbert again. First gamer for the Bombers. Did play in the NAB Cup. Monfries. And illegal use of the body there. Blessed other Meek again.
It's super important they maintain their body language. Now, human nature would suggest young teams, scoreboard, 51-1, 54 points behind in the first quarter. You start to drop your shoulders and think about yourself. I think it's super important to maintain, especially the leaders of the Gold Coast, to maintain that sort of strong body language.
Riscatelli did it there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with Bock and Brown out, the other guys in Ablett, Riscatelli, Fraser, those types need to really stand up and keep the troops going in hard.
Hardingham got it from Hurley, gives it to Hooker.
Way out here.
And now Jeddah with some space. Fake to go inboard. Sends it wide. Ryder. Well, he read that too well. He's on a first gamer. It's a tough task, really, for Stephen May.
Well, the kick was too good. And you're right, Dwayne. He just read it, outread it. And Stephen May learned from that. He lost direct vision of his direct opponent. You've got to try and keep the vision of the ball and your direct opponent. If you can't see your direct opponent, at least get some touch and feel. You got neither.
This is for a 9-goal Tondela start, for a 56-point lead. It's bending. Yeah, bending.
Great kick.
They can do no wrong.
Yeah, well, Paddy Ryder, we said he needed a big game. Well, you cannot get a better place to get yourself into form than the forward line of the Essendon side here today. Under the roof, perfect conditions. Already had 17 inside 50 entries and playing on a first gamer, so the ultimate storm, really. Well done, Paddy, and let's just hope the Gold Coast can fire up a little bit here, because 56 points halfway through the first quarter, or 3/4 way through the first quarter, is too much.
Well, this is already the biggest ever first quarter in the history of the Essendon Football Club.
Already. We've got nearly 7 minutes to go.
Yep.
You know what I thought you were going to say? Ever in the history of these two teams meeting.
Yeah. Well, it is that as well. From the ball up. Brennan threads it out. McKenzie got a hand on it. Swallow, who needs to have an influence now. Toy. Some poise.
Oops.
Kick poor, though, and that's the problem. Stanton.
Going at 55% with the foot. Gold Coast, Essendon at 85%.
Hocking gets and goes. Shorts it. Free players everywhere, and that's hard to believe as well. Monfries will line up to make it 10-0.
Well, they've only had 37 disposals, Rube, and as you said, 20 kicks, and half of those are getting turned over. So this is like a training run at the moment. You've got to be cool as you see it. It's
The line wasn't on the first quarter, was it? 62 points.
Yeah. Well, Essendon was the shortest price favourite of the round, $1.03. About the same odds on winning this as the odds of the sun rising tomorrow. Splits the middle.
It's amazing. They're going under nine disposals a quarter. It's just, it's unbelievable. 88 disposals, 10 goals. So it's just hard to believe that it's Bruce-free footy. That's what I'm being really disappointed about. I expected the Gold Coast to maybe a little bit complacent after their historical win last week against Port. But really, there's a leg rope. It's not a leg rope, it's a ski rope on their direct opponents, and it's just going through them like tissue paper at the moment.
Well, they can't show mercy, Essendon.
No.
62 points the margin, 10 goals, 3 to 1 behind. And James Hird was very clever during the week. He was probably always, that should be recalled, he was probably always going to rest Dustin Fletcher, but he didn't want to make it look as if they were resting Fletcher because it's the Gold Coast. Left it to the last minute.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So he was very clever, James Hird. He approached this as if it was a game against Collingwood. Brennan inside 50. Lovett, Murray thumps it down. Heppel, chance for the Gold Coast first goal here. Hibbert rolls it out. Some pressure finally. Watson back. Hurley, some pressure. Bennell, Dixon, they're both there. Bennell might have the shot. Zach Smith. Well, he waited there, Zach Smith. Hooker went and got it. Bennell, boundary line looming. And the tackle laid on Hurley. Out of play.
That's a better sign at least. They're competing at the coalface.
A few ball-ups.
Yeah, exactly right. Just keep the ball inside your forward 50 for a couple of minutes. Get a breather. Like their midfield will be just looking at Essendon jumpers at the moment in the transition. So keep the ball inside your forward 50.
Ball comes out toward Brennan, left it behind. Danny Stanley likewise left it behind. Hurley didn't, gave it to Hocking. Wide ball, a little nudge. No free. Chambers showing some toe there. Big man, beautiful motion. Lonigan, Ryder, Zaharakis.
Super
and he takes off. And this is just too easy. This is like pulling wings off flies.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Did you go man on man here, Spud? Or is that playing into Essendon's hands too much?
Well, it probably is, but look, it's all about development, I suppose. Look, I'm trying to look for some positives for the Gold Coast, but I've got to be honest, I can't find any at the moment. There's not one. And normally you can find something. It is seriously bruise-free footy, and you know the tackling. You know, Gold Coast about 13 tackles, but a lot of them have been missed as well. But it's just champagne footy from the Bombers.
Guy McKenna, 267 games and a couple of premierships with the West Coast. This is a tough day. One win as a coach. And we've still got 4.5 minutes to go in this opening term. A record-breaking opening term for the Bombers. If you've just joined us, this is Essendon's biggest quarter in the history of the club. Biggest first quarter.
What was their previous one?
9 goals 2. And it's the biggest quarter full stop in the history of the club. 10 goals 4. Their biggest ever quarter in total. Got 11-3 right now. Stanton heads wide. Remus been superb. If you joined us late, he's already got 3 goals. Hill, he might get in the QI. Shorts are splendid. Mark taken by Chambers, who continues to grow as a player. And he's working with, some say, the greatest ruckman ever, Simon Madden. I think it's rubbing off.
Yeah, it's good work there, but I think Guy McKenna at quarter time, he's got to give him a bit of a rocket, because we saw 2 Essendon players there running forward, and their Gold Coast players were maybe 4 or 5 metres behind them. They've got to be right up their backside.
It's across the face, and they've got the numbers again. Ryder dives in, ball to the back, shuffled through, hands, Cramery, can't break free, throws that out. Umpire gave him an enormous amount of time. So May, Harbrow tries to build a ship in a bottle there. It was too small a space to create anything. Jetta again, rolls it out. Watson peels his way through. Jetta back again.
Oh, what?
It's frightening.
Not that we can take anything away from the Bombers' route. It's seriously some of the most scintillating football we've seen. I know they're playing the fledgling team of the Gold Coast, but I don't think even James or the coaching staff or the supporters in their wildest dreams would be looking at a quarter-time deficit such as this.
No, they're at it. They're at the pill, and they just keep coming and coming and coming. They were outnumbered there, Essendon. Gold Coast had about 10 guys around the ball, and they muscled their way through. Essendon, they were tough in tight, and that's why they got the goal in the end.
In horse racing terms, Essendon has dropped back in grade slightly. Premiership favourites last week, Collingwood, and now the wooden spoon favourites, the Gold Coast, this week. So
like caviar-ish.
They're in the maiden at Stony Creek.
Hard tackle in the middle. Hocking can't break free. Ball up.
Well, they're getting nothing out of their senior blokes at the moment. I mean, they're getting smashed everywhere, the Gold Coast. But even Harbrow in that situation at the back, he needed to take the ball out of bounds. He's trying to bring it back into play.
Chambers, Heppel. Will toe off the deck, gets it to half forward from Howlett. He goes back in hard and wins it again. Amazing. Del Hocking, left foot, drop punt. Stop it. Shelling peas. It's 80 points.
They couldn't win by 320 points, could they?
They're on target. They've had 108 disposals, 13 goals. So they're still on the 9 disposal per goal rate, which is just unbelievable. Like 9 disposals. So it's just
efficient.
Well, it is. You have to look at the clearance as well. 11-6. But not only that's the centre clearances, the clean. Even the sweepers for the Gold Coast, we see Gary Ablett, he's only at the 2 disposals so far for Gold Coast, sitting on the pine.
This has been a first-class performance from a team that's really hard to measure right now against the Gold Coast. They're good, we know the Bombers, but 13 goals to nil. Monfries.
For a missed tackle again.
Yeah, breaks through Bennell. Too strong. Hocking. Monfries. Known goal kicker. Unselfish.
So the missed tackle, instead of the ball being a ball up, once you get a missed tackle and you break through, you're kicking with no pressure. So at least either tackle the player or force him to kick the ball over your fingernails. It was Harley Bennell there.
Yeah.
You know, they made the
He reached.
Yeah, he reached. So you're right. Look at this.
And he drives it through for the 14th goal of the quarter.
He's thinking, how easy is this at the moment?
Well,
Very.
That's a great story as well, isn't it? Recruited from Maryborough. Shannon Grant given an opportunity to the Bendigo Bombers, but the missed tackle route.
Yeah.
So either frontal pressure super in footy, so at least force him to kick it over your fingernails. But you're right, that's not physical pressure, that's mental pressure. He tackled with fingernails there, not with his not with his torso.
They can do better than that, and that's what Guy McKenna's got to get stuck into about quarter time. Have a fair dinkum crack.
So it's already the biggest first quarter in Essendon history. It's already going to be the biggest ever quarter-time margin in the history of the game, which is 71 points. Well, we might as well say was 71 points. It's 86 now with 2 minutes to go. Yes, unless they get a couple of quick goals here, the Gold Coast. Hardingham.
They're hungry, Essendon, though.
Hurley, that could be ball! Almost. Gold Coast are almost going to have a shot at goal there. Standen.
They should have been having a shot at goal.
Monfries.
The ball.
It was. Watson. He's got options at plenty. He goes short again. No mark this time. Cramery plays a splendid tackle though on Riscatelli. Ball comes out. Remus, who's got 3 of the 14 goals. Jetta from the pocket. Floats it forward. It'd be a miracle. Lonigan.
This is unbelievable. But there's been some great grabs as well, from great contested marks. Big, strong bodies, a hungry team. Played in front of 90,000 on Monday, Anzac Day, beaten by Collingwood. They're hungry, Essendon.
Amazing. 15 goals to nil.
15-3. I mean, they're even kicking straight as well on top of everything else. That was holding the ball too. It should have been a free kick to Dixon. He should have been having a shot on goal. How can the umpire not try and help him out in a situation like this? Good grab by Lonigan though. 1-on-1. Too strong.
This is the beauty of watching football on Fox Sports Live, because if you're watching on free to air, they'd be going to 15 ad breaks. It's just, it's amazing.
So the highest ever first quarter score before this was 13 goals 3 by Hawthorn in 1982. That should have been holding the ball, by the way.
No doubting that. That should have been a shot at goal there against Michael Hurley.
Ablett takes off. The crowd is hoping for a goalless quarter at the moment. Essendon fans trying to spur them on. Ablett goes long. Fraser's at full forward. Hurley's there. Fraser almost had it. Lays a tackle on Hibbert. Gives it up. Hurley thumps it long. They're 40 seconds away from keeping them goalless. Some more history being made. Ablett gets a chance. Short pass. Swallow. He spills it. Thrown back out. Stanley thumps it forward. Bell Chambers off hands. Still a chance to Gold Coast. Watson thumps it out.
Come on, Gold Coast.
Hooker to Howlett. Short pass. 17 seconds away. Monfries. You saw history last week with the Gold Coast. And a quarter time here.
There's still a chance.
Siren's going to sound on more history. Cramery runs in. 4 seconds left. Can't put the exclamation point on it.
They're human.
The biggest ever first quarter in the history of the game.
Good.
The biggest ever quarter-time margin in the history of the game. 15 goals for 94. to 1 behind. It's a 93-point game.